Good afternoon. This is Pesolex English with testimony Eugenio Siragusa's work. I am Soledad from Argentina, Soledad Lugones. Thank you for being here. I hope you can understand. This is my third transmission in English, and we are going to speak about the closure of Fatima's centenary, that it was in October 13th, 2017. Today is October 22, 2017. The name of this direct video is Closure of Fatima's Centenary. What should we expect as humanity from now on? Coincidentally with the closure of Fatima's centenary in October 13th, the UN dedicated on October 16th to the Day of Food, so there is no more hunger on Earth, and also to ask that Mother Earth should be respected, just as is a serious crime to waste food. Unfortunately, this UN commemoration, like many others, only remains in words. The solution to hunger in the world should be demonstrated in facts, not only in words. There is no progress without justice. The issue of hunger in the world demonstrated that there is no progress because there is no justice. Related to this, and with so many other crimes that man commits, it is noteworthy that the white man, referring to the white man, we refer to the Western man, has always been a murderer who commits these atrocious crimes where everything monopolizes and nothing cooperates, justifying the means to achieve their goals of extreme selfishness. Examples of these are every day for centuries, as they have exterminated the red-skinned men or destroyed populations in order to obtain their goals, where they always seek to get more and more. Satan and Lucifer are of white skin, said Eugenio about this. And around this Western man, there are unfortunately no societies in the East or West that seek change, since they imitate this model of the West, arming themselves, refusing to truly dialogue and cooperate. The sigos, or the four elements of nature, water, air, earth, and fire, punish man for this. The lately fires in Portugal, which is the country of the apparitions of Fatima, the 35 or 38 volcanoes which are active in the world, the earthquakes. Why do they punish man? Because no one listens. Because of the nuclear explosions, the nuclear tests around the world. The earth reacts above all, and to human degradation and in all its aspects. Eugenio said more than 40 years ago in his messages that they would not continue to do so and they continue doing this. There is no man control over the climate, as many believe or are always saying, even if the intention so exists, such as HARP project. But the reality is that Mother Earth is lashing man. And it's nothing compared to what's coming. It will be worse. So, what should we expect from now that the centenary of Fatima had already finished? Although there is a little hope, there is a great concern about all the events that are happening in any order on the part of the beings of lights who are the celestial powers. The content of Fatima is already known in one way or another. Although it is officially hidden, it was never denied. And in this sense, people will not be able to say, I didn't know. It it remains in the conscience and responsibility of each one to do with what to do with it, if you are going to get conscience or not. But if you are really predisposed in certain values, then you are going to be sensible, you are going to be conducted to the message of Fatima and to understand it. And it's also important to disseminate it, to speak about this secret. For those who haven't listened the message of Fatima, we are now going to listen the content of the third secret of Fatima, which we are speaking now, no?
Fatima's message. This is the real content of the third and fourth message of Fatima. As the calendars have been changed during the last centuries, when Virgin Mary refers to the second half of the 20th century, it refers to these times since 1976 exactly up to now. Fatima, 1917. Virgin to Lucia dos Santos in presence of Francis and Jacinta. Don't be afraid, dear little girl. I am the Mother of God who talks to you and asks you to make public the present message to the whole world. Making this, you will find strong resistance. Listen well and pay attention to what I say to you. Men must correct themselves. With humble pleas, they should ask forgiveness for the sins committed and which they should commit. You wish me to give a signal for everyone to accept my words that I say by your mediation to mankind. You have seen the miracle of the sun, and everyone, believers, unbelievers, peasants, citizens, scholars, journalists, lay people, priests, everyone has seen it. And now proclaiming my name, a great punishment will fall upon all mankind. Not today, not tomorrow, but in the second half of the 20th century. I had already revealed it to the children Melania and Massimino in La Salette, and today I repeat it to you, because mankind has sinned and trampled the gift that I had done. Nowhere in the world there is order, and Satan reigns over the highest positions, determining the course of events. He will effectively introduce up to the casket of the church. He will achieve to seduce the great scientists, spirits, who create weapons with which it will be possible to destroy in a few minutes much of humanity. He will hold the powerful who rule the people and will enlist them to make huge quantities of these weapons. And if mankind does not oppose this, I will be forced to let off the arm of my son. Then God will punish men more severely than he had done with the beloved. There will become the time of times and the end of ends. If humanity does not convert, and if everything should continue as now, or worse, should deteriorate more, the great and the powerful will perish along with the small and the weak. Also for the church, it will become the time of its greatest trials. Cardinals will oppose cardinals, bishops to bishops. Satan will walk in between their ranks, and in Rome there will be changes. What is rotten, it will fall, and what is fallen shall not rise again. The church will be obfuscated, and the world shaken by terror. The time will come when no king, emperor, cardinal, or bishop will Wait for him who nevertheless will come, but to punish according to the designs of my Father. A great war will be unleashed into the second half of the 20th century. Fire and smoke will fall from heaven. The waters of the oceans will become vapors, and foam will rise, stirring and sinking everything. Millions and millions of people will perish hourly. Those who remain living will envy the dead. For any side where the gaze will be directed, there will be anguish, misery, ruin in all countries. See, the time is coming more and more, and the abyss in haste is hopeless. The good will perish with the weak ones, the great with the small ones, the prince of a church with their faithful, and the rulers with their people. There will be death everywhere because of the mistakes of fools and supporters of Satan, who then, and only then, will reign over the world. Finally, when those who will survive all events are still alive, they will proclaim back to God and His glory, and will serve Him as a time when the world was not so perverted. Go, my little girl, and proclaim it. For this purpose, I will always be at your side to help you. And in that time, cosmic beings will come from distant parts of the universe in the name of God.
Well, for those who are watching now, good afternoon. Sorry about the technical problems that I'm always having, but I hope we will improve on being better. We have listened the third message of Fatima, which is hidden, as we have said before, and in the last videos we make in Pesolex English. And this is in order that we can speak and know what about we are speaking, while I am going to translate you what we spoke with Filippo and Giovanni last October 13th and October 16th in Italian and in Spain language. So I hope you can understand it always better. Well, this is the third and fourth message of Fatima, the hidden, which has not been being public. This content includes 3 serious events: the displacement of the magnetic axis, the severe scourges of nature, the worst has not happened yet, and the Third World War, which is on course. In addition to this third complete secret, the Virgin has told Lucia, the seer, that the last battle, Satan will do it against the family, which is the nucleus of society. This and the contents of the third secret are related to what the Master of Masters, Jesus Christ, said in Matthew 24. He speaks about war and rumors of war, famine, pestilences, earthquakes, false prophets, son against son, son against father, and father against son. Specifically in relation to the Third World War, it is important to know that it is from this war which the Virgin speaks in the third secret. Indeed, when the Virgin speaks that a great war will unfold into the second half of the 20th century, it refers to these times, although because of the changes that in calendars throughout history, it corresponds to the second half of the 20th century, corresponds to the years 1976 to 2026. So that it is because we are in the second world. And it's because that the Virgin asked Sor Lucia dos Santos, the seer, one of the 3 seers of Fatima, to make it public from up 1960, because then the whole humanity would understand. it's referring to the course of the nuclear weapons. That's why. So when she speaks about second half of the 20th century, she's speaking about these years, okay? Besides, in the other message in Fatima that Virgin said, she already had mentioned the First and Second World War before. In this respect, also the Virgin has spoken in Lourdes and also in hidden when she says that there will be a serious confrontation in the end of the times between Muslims and Christians. It's also fulfilled, as Eugenio has said, the prophecy in which the servant takes by the throat to the patron. Regarding to this, the Virgin has also spoken in her other messages to Sister Lucia that Russia must become into her sacred heart. Otherwise, the punishment of the Father will come through her for all humanity. She's speaking about as a karma, as an effect of a very serious cause that is the attack on life in all senses that humanity has been doing since many years and centuries. It's a punishment. When she speaks of the consecration of Russia to her sacred heart, it does not refer to anything liturgical or ceremonial, or when she speaks about the conversion. Yes? She's referring to the dialogue, to the possibility of sitting down all the powerful people of the world and put in order the things as they should be doing, and they are not really doing. They are making some lies because they seems that they want to speak, but they don't really want to speak. And it's in a level of not always fighting for power. They should cooperate. Everyone asks, but no one wants to give anything. It is logical that everything goes out of control. Both Russia and the United States should have been guides for the whole humanity due to the ethnic plurality and raw materials that are in their countries. But it has not been like that in that way. In addition, Russia represents in one way or another to the east side, all the countries of the east. Behind of it, for example, it's Iran and other countries. The Russian people are the most believing in the world. There are more Orthodox churches in Russia than in other countries. Has this war begun or is about to begin? We should not expect a beginning like the previous wars, just as the wars that exist today among the peoples of the world are not physical, but they are more subtle and more serious. The third world is already in effect, in act, by small parts. It is not a war as we are or many are waiting or expecting. The poor are getting poorer, the rich are getting richer, the elements of nature are more and more punished, are punishing more and more humanity. The scarcity of the primary elements of life, especially drinking water, the diseases and the pestilence that are striking every time more to man. Only the explosion of the nuclear bomb is missing. But this burst, this time is not going to happen. In 8 minutes of our time, as Eugenio has transmitted, the celestial powers will intervene. They will act. And if it's not for a war, it will be by the earth that will destroy man, who at this moment is a virus for Mother Earth. When in the Bible it refers to not separate what God has united, it is speaking about not touching the primordial atom of life, which is the hydrogen atom. It's speaking about the nuclear fission, both only in weapons or in a civilian use. And also not to touch in no sense what is the creation, the balance of Mother Earth and the human being. Example of these are the genetic manipulations, the extractions that damage Earth, such as oil. What happens is that the Virgin says in Fatima, it's happening and will happen in a worse way. She said that the living will envy the dead. It's also called the. If there is no awareness, they will not come down, as many people think, to save us. The beings of light or the celestial powers will not come down to contact us if we are not awareness. It is our conscience that must approach them so that they can help us. Otherwise, they will only act to save the savable. But that case will not matter. In that case, it will not matter the quantity, but the quality only. Only with one boy and one girl, they can make humanity again. The savable will be saved. The justice is in act. What the Virgin speaks is practically a sentence. What she says by becoming aware. But to this day, it is practically impossible what man is doing. As an awareness, we mean and we say that man should understand in every sense the need of putting things in its right side, especially in what refers to nuclear energy, nuclear weapons, and pollution. Then, where we do not arrive, they will help us. But then first we have to have the intention to change, really, not only words. Every day is an attack aspects. It refers to human society and to the whole creation. Anyone who attempts against this will experience the second death. That is to say, that it's going to involute, to go backwards in evolution. The trial will be so terrible that many planets are waiting for much of humanity to purify itself, because the Earth will enter into a more involved dimension, to fourth dimension. Everything is going to be cleaned, and they will coordinate the whole operation. And Christ, the Supreme Judge, Jesus Christ, will be coordinating this. And he doesn't belong to one religion, but to all humanity and the whole universe. Another issue to take into account for what we feel as our mission or our spiritual call, it's explained on a message of Adoniesis of decades ago, which Eugenio transmitted. It says this: do not engage your forces for what is not specially your task. Everyone has their role and their work. You must do what has been marked for the program that has been assigned to you. And this program has to do with spiritual bread, not with material bread or sensory experiences. The celestial powers work on a different plane from our. They are attentive and operational. Do not think that they are not present or that they are negative. The fundamental values at the individual, social, and government levels of the peoples should be cooperation, not competence. The world must focus on that. There is the key. If each one has his own bread and his own fish, it will be not necessary for the servant to take the master by the throat. The same society imposes this scheme of competence. The latest events in Catalonia and Las Vegas, as the most prominent in recent times in the West countries, without entering into political issues, demonstrate this: violence and selfishness. The decisions that the people make should be for the good of the community, not for selfishness. Everything is degraded socially, not taking a course that tends to violence and destruction. There are programs of brain manipulations at the electromagnetic levels, which have repercussions in different societies. There are karmas that beats peoples of the world or countries. Instead of confusion, wars and civil war should be union, life, justice, and peace. This is for what politics should be useful, not what is doing today, no? So, thank you for being here in this direct video from Buenos Aires, Argentina. I hope you can join us or ask questions or comments in our website at www.pesolex.com or at our radio at www.eugeniosiragusaradio.com. Thank you for being here.